Hi there, my name is Ron Rogers, and this presentation is titled Airline Tales from the Gate Area. Now, the one thing I always enjoyed about being an airline pilot, especially being a captain, which I was for 25 years, is when you are in the terminal in the gate area, people know you have a purpose of being there. And you can have a big long line at the gate area talking to the agent, and when you're in uniform, you can walk right up to them, and usually, nobody minds if you kind of interrupt, because you didn't go to the back of the line. And usually you only talk to the agent a few minutes. So, nobody really minds, and they can see since you're in uniform, maybe you got a right to be there. So, then you can just go down, and you don't have to wait for your boarding area to be called. You can just go right down the jetway and get into your nice seat. And you have a real nice window and an aisle seat. So that's really nice. I kind of miss that being retired, obviously, getting in boarding group 12 being called, But anyway, that was one of the nice aspects I always enjoyed. Just to be the ability to walk right up and get on the airplane. I knew I had a confirmed seat, and I knew they weren't going to leave without me. All right. So like I said, it's nice to be able to just to walk up the jetway and get on the airplane. But say we're going to Orlando today. Well, it's nice to go up, get right on the airplane, have my seat. We're all going to Orlando. The only difference is everybody in the back, except for the flight attendants, of course, they go to Orlando, they stay, they have a fun time. I get an hour, I can go out the jetway, maybe get a little bit of sun in a cold January day in Chicago, and then I come back. So even though we're going the same place, passengers have more fun. But, if I'm not in a big hurry to get on the airplane, maybe I'm number 2 in line there, so I'll just wait for the guy in front of me, to get done, and then I'll talk to the agent. And one time I'm standing there behind this guy, and this guy is very upset. He's very upset. He says he's got a middle seat, and he wants a window, or he wants an aisle seat. And he's just complaining to the agent, he booked too late, and he's get stuck with a middle seat, and he's complaining, and I just happened to mention, standing behind him, I said, well, I've got a window and an aisle seat. He doesn't bother to turn around and look at me, and he says to the gate agent, he says, well, why does he need 2 seats? Give me one of those seats. Give me the aisle, give me the window. I should have one of those seats. And she kind of looks at him and smiles and says, turn around. He looks around, sees me, and I says, yeah. I got a window and an aisle seat because I'm the only chair on that side, and then he goes, okay, fine. Well, that kind of calms the situation just a little bit. We have a nice little joke. But let me tell you another instance where I'm very junior. I'm a second officer. I'm 10 from the bottom of the seniority list. I'm trying to jump seat. That's that little seat in the cockpit where we can ride along if it's vacant, and usually it is, but once in a while it's not. And there was some other pilots there ahead of me, and everybody just about, except for the 10 guys I knew on site, were senior to me. So she asked me my seniority, and I said, it's really poor. And she says, well, I'm not sure if we can get you on. And I said, well, you might be able to. I said, they're bringing a seat for me now. And she goes, what? And I said, look out there at the jetway. And coming up the rickety stairs there is a mechanic carrying a pilot's seat. I guess they had a write-up, something like that, and they needed a new pilot seat, so he's carrying one up. I mean, you couldn't have timed this better. It was absolutely perfect comedic timing. And she turns around and she puts her head down on the counter, and are you all right or something? She lifts it up, and she is just laughing. She says, you couldn't have done that again in a million years. Well, it didn't help. I didn't get on that flight. Had to wait till the next one. Now, the one other advantage of, being the crew is that if you're late on a turn, you know how this works. We're flying an Orlando turn, and we're going to come in and we're going to fly someplace else like Des Moines or someplace exciting like that. And so we're late coming in for weather, and they got everybody on board the airplane. And I remember one time we were 45 minutes late. I mean, we do the best we can. We can't, do anything about air traffic control or that. And a 27, which was the airplane I was on at the time, we fly as fast as we can. But when you're backed up, it doesn't do any good. So I get there. I get to the gate area, totally empty. The airplane is totally boarded. And they have been sitting on that airplane for 45 minutes, unfortunately. And so I come up to the jetway, And I say to the agent, hey, we're here. We got my crew of 3. And we go down there. And like I said, the nice thing I know is the airplane won't leave without me. And I've still got a seat. And when I come on board, even though we're 45 minutes late, everybody cheers. So we try to make a little bit of time en route. But, there wasn't much we could do. But we did the best we could. And back in those days with the 27, you could make up a fair amount of time. You really could, because you could fly it a lot faster. Burn more gas, but you could fly it faster. So I fly a trip down to Miami, and we've got a layover there, 1-day layover. Well, there's this little problem coming to Miami. It's called Hurricane Andrew. And I'm just getting ready to go out to the beach. This shows you how, I don't know if you'd call it brave or stupid I was, but they had actually removed almost all the, the little chairs from the beach and that, and you could actually see the storm coming, the big wall of it. And I thought, well, I'll just go out to the beach. It's very vacant for fun. And the phone rings, and it's the crew desk. And they say, hey, you got a choice here. You can either get on a 47 that we've got that we're ferrying back, or you can stay in one of the shelter areas down there. So the neat thing about it was, I go into Miami Terminal. I decided to take the 47 back, and Miami Terminal didn't even have as many people in the picture as this had. It was absolutely vacant. You never see the Miami Terminal absolutely vacant. And there wasn't even a gate agent there. And I walked up, we have the door codes and that, and I open the door code and I get on the 747. So here was my choice. Go to a shelter with crying children, barking dogs, and stuff like that, or get on a nice 47 and come back. Well, I chose the nice 47 and come back. And the funny thing was, they didn't have a 47 crew down there. There were no other airplanes down except this 147 they wanted to get out. So they chartered a Learjet, and they brought a flight test crew in from San Francisco, and I actually knew some of the guys, and they're going to fly it back. So my co-pilot actually had lived in the Miami area, so he stayed there. So it's just me and the second officer. So we get on board the airplane, it carries over 400 people, and we decided, of course, we're going to take first class because, there's only the 2 of us on there. So we go and we sit down in first class, and they take off, and we're coming back to Chicago. And the captain comes down, we're just chatting a little bit, and I said, where are you guys going to park? And he says, we'll be parking out at the maintenance hangar. Okay. Well, I'm not going into the terminal. I'm not going by anybody. The maintenance hangar is actually right next to where I parked my car. So I say to my first officer, my second officer, I'm sorry, I say, tell you what, we don't get to do this often as employees or pilots or anything. Let's change into casual clothes. So I change into my sandals, my cut-off blue jeans, and a tank top. Okay, I could never get this casual, and of course you can't undress and change clothes in first class. That'll get you in a lot of trouble. So we changed into very casual clothing. The airplane parks at the ramp area there, the maintenance area. They bring up these rickety old air stairs. So I'm coming down the air stairs with my flight bag, my flight papers bag, and I got my captain's hat under my thumb, coming down in my tank top and cut off blue jeans. And I start to hear these guys laughing. And, well, it was the mechanics who brought up the air stairs. They said, well, that was a really casual flight. And I said, hey, how many times do you get to fly in an airplane like this? So we all had a good laugh. And that was the end of that tale. So those are a few of my area tales. And I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.